Hello, this is Steve at greenfuelhho.com. Today I want to go over the setup and operation of the HHO for Health hydrogen therapy machine. This machine has a very simple operation. When you receive your package in the mail, simply open the box and you'll pull out the machine and it'll be completely assembled and ready to go for you. For the machine to operate, you're going to need some distilled water and a package of potassium hydroxide, which is included. When you get the machine, this bag of potassium hydroxide will be right underneath the cap here. Simply pull it out. Before we plug this machine in, we want to go ahead and mix our water first. And before we mix our water, we're going to go ahead and fill up our bubbler. This is our bubbler over here. We want to fill it 2/3 of the way full with distilled water. I'll do that right now. To do this, what we're going to do is we're going to remove the cap. This is our flash port. It also is the lid to the bubbler. Let's remove that. Might want to use a funnel in there. And we're just going to pour straight distilled water, nothing else, into the bubbler. And again, we want to fill it up 2/3 of the way full. So about there. Remove the level and replace the lid and flash arrestor. When you put this on, you want to make sure you get it nice and tight, but don't over tighten it. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to mix our water and fill our water reservoir in the main reservoir tank. For this procedure, we want to measure out 2 liters of distilled water. You can get distilled water at any grocery store. Make sure it's distilled water and not drinking water or mineral water. It has to be distilled water. I've got a measuring pitcher here. I'm going to measure out 2 liters of water. And then what we'll do is we'll take our baggie of KOH, or potassium hydroxide, and pour the entire contents of this bag into the pitcher. So right now I'm going to measure out 2 liters. Alright, I have my 2 liters of distilled water, and now I will drop the contents of this bag into the water. Now what you want to do now is make sure that the potassium hydroxide is stirred in and it's completely dissolved in the water. Alright, just like that. Next, what we want to do is pour the contents of the pitcher into the reservoir tank through this lid, and we'll fill the reservoir tank 2/3 of the way up. Now when you do this, you want to make sure that you don't get any of this water on any electronic components. And it'll take all the 2 liters of water. Now you want to replace the cap. Make sure the cap is tight, but don't over tighten the cap. The cap needs to make a good seal around the reservoir tank so that it forces the HHO out of the tank and into the bubbler. Now what we'll do is we're going to take the power supply out of its box and just plug it into any electrical outlet. When you do so, you want to make sure that you don't come in contact with any of these wires here, because you could receive an electrical shock. Now these are the wires that go into the power supply that we're plugging into the wall. go ahead and plug that in. And if the power supply is ready, you'll see a green light here. At this point, we want to turn the machine on. There's a switch right here on top of the power controller. We're going to flip that to the on position. And you'll know it's on because it will light up on the front display. You also have a small blue light on the switch. And now the machine will start to produce HHO. As you can see, it's bubbling up through the bubbler here. What the HHO does is produced in the generator, moves up to the water reservoir, is forced out of the water reservoir into the bubbler. From the bubbler, it comes out and goes into the filter. And at this port here is where you connect your hose to use the HHO. On this dial here, you can see how many amps it's using. Turning this up clockwise will cause it to generate more HHO gas. As you can see now, it's generating quite a bit of HHO gas. As the HHO machine runs, periodically you will need to add more water to the reservoir tank. To do this, you simply just take the top off and put in straight distilled water. You won't need to add any more of the KOH or potassium hydroxide. The KOH is only added the first time you fill your machine. Now I will demonstrate a practical use for this machine. This is only a demonstration and not a recommendation. You'll want to attach a hose to this output right here. And what I've got set up today is a hose with an air stone on the end. I'm going to go ahead and plug it into the output port here. That'll force the HHO through this stone. I've got a glass of drinking water here. And what I do is I put the stone down into the drinking water. When you want to turn the machine off, simply flip the switch off. This machine will stop. Remember, the green light will always be on. This indicates that the machine is ready to be started. To turn it back on, simply flip the switch. Now I'll give you a closer look at the machine. This is Steve at greenfuelh2o.com. Thanks for watching.